Hey.
Hi. Hello.
And welcome to the Partner Panel.
We have a JPI warning for the JPI warning now. Yeah. All right. They can hear us.
Hey, JPI warning, guys. JPI warning.
Hey. Ay, bro. Poor guy. Oh, man.
Welcome, everybody. How we all doing? Hope you're excited tonight.
Yes. Welcome. We have here the Bearded Wolverine, Mangoose, and Stunt_V. We really got to talk about getting rid of that V eventually. But we'll talk about it. Ooh, that's spicy. But welcome, everybody. So this week in the Fault Partner Panel, geez, all right, stumbling already. So this week in the Fault Partner Panel, we're going to go over not only what's been said recently as far as fault, right? We're going to hit a specific subject that we kind of agreed upon here behind the scenes. And it might be a little bit sensitive to some individuals, but we're just going to, as always, speak our minds. We're going to talk together with the community. We're going to take chat into consideration. Let us know what you think. You wanted to say something real quick, Bitter?
Yes. Before we get too far, because this is going to be in podcast form, a lot of the podcasters who continue to listen to us, they know Windu, they know myself, Bearded Wolverine, they also know Mangoose, but they've yet to hear Stunt. So Stunt, if you give yourself a little introduction to the podcasters to know who you are and what you got going on.
I'm new to streaming. I started a few months ago. I've been gaming all my life. And like I've said before, my stunt V is actually what I do in Hollywood. I do stunts. So that
which is awesome.
Pretty much sums up everything about me. In the future, I'll probably release some pictures and stuff like that for people to see. So that's where I am.
Yes. Again, thanks for coming. Yeah, really appreciate here.
Hey,
that's on your OnlyFans, right?
Huh? Yo, you imagine if you had an OnlyFans and those are the only place you can see the pictures? Yo.
Call it naked parkour.
Whoa.
That's stuff.
Different show. Oh my God.
Let's go.
Right.
All right.
But let's focus a little bit here as to what's actually been said. And I'm just going to go based off of the order that we have here, right? So one of the first things that we see is they do announce the winner of the Astro Gideon skin giveaway. Winner's Thomas Hardy. Congratulations. They do mention on here the patch. The skin will be available on patch 14. Now, I do have Hardy's video here. I'll go ahead and just kind of play it while we talk here in general. But it looks like Hardy here actually posted a 2-minute video of his gameplay, which for one, shout out to Hardy, because that's right. A lot of fucking work. You feel me? The average person only put a clip. You feel me?
Yeah. Right.
Which, I mean, one could make the argument that it's kind of cheating, though. It's like, post your favorite clips. I'll send you 7. Yeah. Yeah. Take your pick. If I don't win, you're a liar.
Yeah. It's 1 to 7. I know it is.
All right.
I noticed when we did the search, right? You did the Astro Gideon or whatever the hashtag was.
Yeah, on Twitter.
What we saw
Twitter
on
specifically.
Twitter anyways. Right, Twitter specifically. There's only 9 entries, right? I guess we didn't go back and check all the other socials, but it seems like there wasn't that many entries for a pretty tight skin.
Well, you got to be mindful too. That's probably a direct correlation with actual player base and how many actual Gideon clips there are. You get what I'm saying?
There's barely anybody playing, and what percentage of the people that are actually playing are playing Gideon?
But it doesn't have to be current clips. I mean, it could have been a clip. It could have been a clip.
You're right, but there has to be interest. There has to be interest aligned with it. You get me? So I still think it was a good idea.
What that goes along with our show today is the hype, and if you would have entered this at the right time, it brought up the hype reel, brought it with the hype train, 414. It could have been something that you would have gotten more entries with it. But we went from 14 getting hyped, and then nothing. And then here you go. Here's an entry. You can enter this to get the skin for 14 when 14 comes out, which makes you think 14 is really close. And then entries fail, are done. You can't enter anymore. And then now they announce it, and we still have no clue when 14 is going to be announced. There is no hype for this anymore. Like literally there was nothing about this event that was like, hey, this is really cool.
This dude won a skin that he can't use yet.
Exactly.
Right.
Had they
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Had they got rid of that last sentence saying that you're going to get the skin in patch 14 and just gave him the skin because he deserved it, I mean, that would have been a different story.
That would be dope as fuck if he could use that skin ahead of everybody else, like a week before or something. That would be some dope as fuck shit.
But
actually,
when you're saying win this for patch 14, but you don't have a patch 14 date, it's like, why would I take it serious? Why would I put in the time and submit you clips if I can't show it off?
See, I think the contest itself almost painted a much different light. Like, you feel me? Like, the contest almost created the assumption that patch 14 was so close, we're holding this contest. You feel me? The contest ended. Where's patch 14? We announced the winner. Where's patch 14? You follow? So I'm okay with the contest. I'm okay with the way that they did it. I'm okay. Like at this point, like I said, homie kind of like asked for extra credit on a test that he already got 100 in. But I'm just not okay with the fact that it seems ill-timed only because patch 14 isn't here. If patch 14 would have showed up within a week of them announcing the winner, or like, you feel me, within a week of the tournament ending, not the tournament, the contest ending, for me it would have been a little bit more appropriate. You get me?
Right.
But I don't know.
I think the winner should have been announced with the patch notes.
I mean, I don't think so. Like, I'll be real with you. Like, whomever they choose as the winner definitely deserves to have like their own limelight. You feel me? Even as small as a contest as it might have been, like, yeah, give them the little shout out, give them their own separate little post on Twitter or Facebook,
so
etc.
8 other people could have saw it.
Well, hopefully more people are paying attention.
I'm saying you posted on a Twitter that you guys just claimed that nobody's following. That's why there was only 9 entries, right? But if you put on patch notes, which everybody's waiting for patch 14, everybody's going to read those patch notes and get excited for it. He would have got more of a limelight with that than he would have been putting on a Twitter post that nobody's following.
I'll be real with you. With all due respect, I honestly think he gets more limelight by having the individual post, because so many little people read those patch notes. We have to make these videos.
And we would be talking more about him on the patch notes.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter who gets the limelight or where. He got a skin. Like, that was the competition was for skin. He got the skin.
No, definitely.
You see the video. There's nothing like particularly outstanding he does with Gideon, but he did put a lot of work into this and put this whole thing together, which is kind of cool. It got me thinking though. When's the last time I saw like a Gideon team wipe? Like, you used to see that in Paragon, not often, but you would see it. Like Gideon jumping in, taking out an entire team with his ultimate. You don't see that shit anymore. I wonder why.
It's extremely rare. And
it probably happens quite a bit. No, I'll be real with you. It probably happens quite a bit, but I would say, how many people are actually streaming Gideon or recording while playing Gideon constantly? You feel me? The main person I can think of it's Mike. He plays Gideon all the fucking time. But there just aren't that many people creating content actively. That's why, like Bearded was saying, even past clips worked for the event. I think it's a good start. I think they should do more events like this, especially when there's new skins around the corner or an event. Yeah. Like I'll be real with you, the Astro Gideon thing was cool. We just passed up Halloween. They easily could have given away a Halloween skin and they didn't have to release anything new for that. You know what I'm saying? As long as it was a Halloween clip, and then they could have used multiple characters, multiple skins from a Sparrow. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more diversity there instead of only targeting Gideon players. So you know, just a missed opportunity there. They could easily do that for the Christmas skins that are coming up. Now, I wanna talk a little bit more about this next post that they mentioned here, because they show on Twitter, they posted then after, our team has been gradually updating component items to match our newest art standards. Here's a new look at Gate Scroll. What other items do you think we should revamp? Now, let me get your guys' opinions. How do you guys feel about this Gate Scroll?
I mean, the picture is great. It looks amazing in comparison to the old one, but I don't know. I think it's poorly timed post.
Why?
Because like when everybody's here just waiting for 14, and this is what you give us. Thank you. That could have just been in patch notes. I'm not too worried about this. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like a really bitter person right now, and I know it sounds this way, but I literally I mean,
rightfully so. You feel me? I understand.
We've got nothing substantial since 12. Since patch 12. Like gameplay substantial. 13 was all back end stuff. It made the gameplay better. It brought Mangoose back. That's pretty much what False Writing on is, bringing Mangoose back. That's what they have, But other than that, we got nothing. We're getting small items here and there, and even those items the build diversity is still not that great. So we need more items. We don't need more reskinned items. We need more items.
I mean, I do want to throw it out there that the coolest thing that I've seen since patch 12 has probably been all the passives that they've been adding, like the animations. You can actually tell when people's passives are active or stuff like that. Like, Greystones, those visual effect changes were by far my favorite part. But besides that, it really has been kind of lackluster.
And then possibly the shrines, getting rid of the river buffs and putting in shrines.
I
mean,
it helps with the game. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we
criticized the shrines whenever they were first released. You feel me? Like we were like, yo, you just fucking added a statue that's a different color. The statues are around the entire map like 20 times. I remember we talked about it, but I don't know. I would say it's a very tricky thing, right? Because the kind of argument could be made that some people might sit here and say they have made plenty of changes. They're just not changes that the average person is looking at. You get me?
They made necessary changes, but they didn't make exciting changes.
Oh, That's a good word to put behind it. The word exciting.
No, I 100% agree with that statement. 100% agree with that statement. But our player base is dwindling quickly.
Yeah.
Like you can't grow a player base if there's no player base to grow. It's falling apart. And something needs to be done about it. And 14 is supposed to be the savior. Go to.
I'll be real with you.
I'll tell you.
As long as they're taking, if it's not as overwhelming as they're leading it out to be, like all the mods in the Discord and everything, like if it's not mind fucking blowing, right? Like if I don't see 14 patch notes and I'm gonna be like, this is gonna be fucking lit. I don't know, bro.
I mean, I'll tell you what's going to bring way more players in is they're going to look and they're going to be like, man, that gate scroll looks way better than the old gate scroll. Let me buy that fall.
That's why everybody who came back for 13, they left because the gate scroll looks still bad.
They're like that gate scroll looks like shit. I'm out. They
got to have the new gate scroll.
That's why they're asking you guys which one to revamp after.
Right,
which one doesn't look as good anymore?
Hey man, am I the only one that thought the old one looked cool? Like I look at the new
lines on it and shit. Yeah,
like the new gate scroll, it like almost looks a little bit more blander, but 3D with some smoke coming off of it and light. You feel me? Like I'll be real, I kind of like that old one with like the runic shit all in like in the writings and shit.
Somebody asked in Gen Chat, why did the old gate scroll have 69 on it?
Because that's a great fucking number to live by anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
unless they're doing something crazy awesome with the items, then I don't really care about item updates.
No, I mean, Hey, thanks to the item art team. It's a great job. I just feel
cool stuff,
I feel bad that the item art team is getting, in a sense, flamed because
this is the only thing to talk about right now.
But yeah, it's all we have, guys. We got to put your stuff out there. Sorry. So then we're like, okay, sweet. Our stuff's gonna get shit on, even though it's great. You know, and it is great. Yeah, I do enjoy it. It looks great. You know, like the 3D, the 3D art of it. It's great job. But like, we need something else right now. We need something substantial. Like, and I'm not saying we need the patch right now, but you taking the blog post from us, that the blog post was our something substantial. Every 2 weeks we were getting something we could read, something that we could, 14's coming. This is cool. You took that away and you've given us nothing pretty much since. Oh, I'm sorry. We've gotten, we know who the winner is of the Gideon skin. That's our update.
And the scroll, don't forget the scroll.
Dude, I'll be real with you. I am quite honestly just mind blown because we've had some updates that were incredibly small. We've had some patch notes that were literally just one fucking thing changed. You feel me? So we counted out how many characters were left. They easily could have been like, one mastery skin. Let's talk about something. 2 weeks later, another mastery skin. Let's talk, like they have been doing for the past fucking 5 months, 6 months. You feel me? So I don't necessarily think they had to stop those.
Right.
You get me? Like they probably could have kept on going.
So Game of Goose in chat says, I don't understand why everyone is so focused on player base right now. Trying to grow a player base right now would be a terrible idea. I'm not asking you to grow a player base right now. I'm not saying, hey, we need to market, we need to grow a player base. We need to stop the player base from dwindling.
There is a difference there.
Apart. I'm not saying I want it to grow. I want it to stay the same right now. So when we do try to make it grow, we have something to grow.
Which patch 14 should have been that right there, right? So patch 14, well, not that it should have been, could be, right? Patch 14 is supposed to be the retention patch. It's going to not only bring old players back, but it's going to retain them. New players are going to have something to do. They're going to have AI, they're going to master systems, etc. Right? So it really is supposed to be at least the first step to the answer or the final result, right? Before they go to free to play, before they move forward, etc. And even these great posts, because they've been talking about patch 14 for so long, even a great post at this point, it could have been a 10 out of 10. It's not patch 14, like an 8 or 9 at best, bro. Like just because it's not what people were expecting. And they set up those expectations themselves by trying to start hyping up a lot of stuff, right? But I do want to talk about this last little picture that they mentioned here, because they said we can't get enough of these mastery skins. With a little bit of grind and tons of fun, you can unlock these rewards for your favorite heroes. Favorite is spelled wrong. All masteries will be available with patch 14. Let us know which hero you're hoping to master first. Now I'm going to have this picture full screen here for you guys in a moment. Well, let's talk about these pictures. Or this picture, excuse me. The first thing that I want to point out is lane design.
It's not spelled wrong. It's just spelled different. That's actually a different way of spelling favorite.
Oh, okay. Touche.
It's like the word color. You can spell color COLOR or COLOUR.
Okay, true enough. Right, spelled wrong for me. But no. So let's dissect this picture, guys. I really want to go over this with you guys because I'll tell you what I see off rip. The first thing we see, Narbash under light. Thank you, Jesus. I've been waiting for that shit for half a year instead of just like barely, ashy gray Narbash. We see Countess mastery. We see Gideon mastery, Greystone mastery. And then, quite frankly, from the middle to the left, those are masteries we've seen before. But the main thing that I see that I like is a T2 tower with the left and the right. That looks very, very open. I don't know if this is the existing map. I don't think it is. This looks the background looks very, very open. Well, think about
that's inhibitor. That's inhibitor, I would say.
No, look at where they're standing right now. They have they have another tower placement directly behind, right in between Decker's legs, and then where the stairs keep going up to where Inhib is. You see it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you can see above Murdock and above Greystone, those are the columns to the left and the right of Inhib. Yeah. And if you see under Greystone's shield, that's that middle section of the Inhibs that you can leap up if you have a mobility.
Right.
So I don't know if this is a revamp map or if it's a new map. I like the way that it looks. I like the way these skins look because I don't see any fucking mustaches hidden anywhere so far. I could be wrong, right? But these skins right here, I want to hear more about it. Like, let's talk about these skins right here. What do y'all think?
Decker looking killer, man. I'm glad they put her front and center.
Right. That purple with with Gideon, that purple glow off that silver mastery skin, pretty fucking fire.
It almost makes the silver kind of disappear, doesn't it? Just because the purple's glowing.
I mean, in that one spot on his hip, but I mean, the rest of them is like the silver's very exuberant.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be dominant, especially that little ring on his back. I see it's all silver. What it looks like on there.
Even Countess with that blue shadow above her eyes, above her eyebrows, like that glow looks amazing.
Yeah, and that shit looks so clean.
Odo says the Greystone gold eyes look pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's something I really think they should crank up. Even though I don't know how much of that glow you're actually going to see in game, you feel me? Because character models are only like a small portion of your screen, especially in the movement with combat and everything. You probably won't see those glowing eyes. It's just a nice detail to see, right? But yo, Countess looks fire, bro. Countess looks sick. I'll be real. I think out of these three right here, Gideon, Greystone, Countess, I think my favorite is Countess. Actually,
Balix.
I like Greystone.
Balix just said in chat, the diamond material sparkles.
Nice.
Okay, so it's reactive with the sunlight. So that means if you're in the dark, the diamond material isn't necessarily going to be shining, or is that something that's going to be shining always, kind of glow in the dark shining? You know what I mean? Because I feel like the mastery skins are going to glow always. And that's what at least they led us to believe with the Narbash video that they released a while ago.
Yeah, but the Narbash video they released wasn't that was of the mastery skin, right? That was of the top tier, the one that you're seeing here.
Yeah, the one we're seeing right here.
That red, I believe, is supposed to glow nonstop, right? That red. Now, the other ones, the gold, the silver, and the diamond, that doesn't necessarily have to be reactive in any way. But as per Balix says, the diamond sparkles.
I just saw a comic. Great. Now we have a Twilight vampire in the game. Lamau. So
he says, nah, that should be shining. This is Balix again. One of the devs says, nah, that should be shining. And it like moves. Can't explain it, but it's sick. It's not static. And yes, the red stuff glows and moves.
Okay, so I guess sparkly would be the best word. You feel me? Like, regardless of what environment you're in, it's like sparkling at you. Kind of like that that ultimate sparkle in the top corner that just sparkles once and doesn't pulse or whatever.
I know some people who are gonna hate to use those skins though. I can't remember who it was. We were playing with somebody, and somebody was picking a dark skin because they didn't want to be able to see it across the map. And I'm like, what? Like what?
I mean, people do that.
Who's gonna do anything to you? It's a MOBA. Like they're like I'm not like Murdock. Oh, I can see that person all the way across the map. Because guess what? I can see you anyways.
I mean, I'll be real with you. I'd like to say I'm not that type of person, but I totally am. I always pick that rusty Murdock. Because in my mind, I'm like, they're definitely going to go for that red fucking shine. Every time I'm the red shiny samurai Murdock, I get targeted 10 times more. As soon as I'm the rusty Murdock, I could be like standing against the wall shooting. I swear, sometimes they don't even notice I'm fucking standing there. They don't even see the shot coming from the wall. They're like, Decker, hit her. Like, so, I mean, I understand it. Like, if people are trying to be like ultra competitive and trying to not draw attention to themselves, yeah, I mean, any of these skins are probably not going to be for you, quite frankly. Like, you're probably going to go for like a down earth. were you saying?
I want to see this iridescence that they're talking about, and I want to see. I'm hoping that when they're talking about the red flows, it's like the magma flows of the old Paragon.
Yeah,
skins.
that's what I'm hoping for as well.
You know what'd be cool?
I hope they bring that back as a tie-in to Paragon, like a what's the word? Like a throwback,
homage.
like an homage to Paragon. You know, and for us Paragon, refugees, that'd be something for it. But they changed it up to where it's not like, here you go, these are the master skins, you got it back, guys. I hope you enjoy it. But hey, I remember this. But here's our rendition on it. Kind of like a. I
think Grux Magma is the closest we're gonna get to that, quite frankly.
Remix?
Oh, definitely. What'd you say, Mangoose?
Remix?
Not a remix, but a
cover.
You literally a cover. When you do a cover of a song, you kind of you. It's almost like you're paying homage to the actual. The
original one.
The original. Thank you. Oh my gosh, words for me today are bad. Let me one more drink.
So, I don't know. I mean, I'll be real with you. I hate to be that one guy, but I always nitpick these skins, right? I just realized I really wish
to be that one guy. We've went through 20 of these skins, and you were that guy the whole time. Now you're like,
leave me the fuck alone, bro. Leave me the fuck alone. But I just realized the hilt of her blades is diamond, and the blade itself is black. I really wish that shit were backwards. Because her hand mixes in with the hilt. Her entire hand mixes in with the hilt.
Well, then her hand would just mix in with the blade if it was reversed.
No, because her hand would be on the black hilt.
I don't like it. I don't like that idea.
I mean, to each his own.
So I think
blades being diamond would be a little too much. A little.
If we made the hilt black and the hands were still diamond, it's not.
Be mindful. It's just for that one skin too. For the other skins, it'd be a silver blade, a gold blade. You feel me?
Right. It would add for the what's the word before we said all the time with all these fucking skins. I can't think of it. The
contrast.
Contrast. Oh my god, I'm done. You guys,
we're not going to fucking interpret for you all night,
dude. Right? Like,
I can't.
You got to talk for yourself, homie. I don't know what's going on right now.
It would add for the contrast, but I don't think it would add for the amount of black. Like, I think it would have been almost too much diamond if we did it for the blade.
Okay, I can see that.
If that makes sense.
Don't give a shit about the cosmetics. For real. I know it's important to the game. I know a lot of people will work towards this stuff. And I know that the aesthetics of the game are important, but I just don't care that much. Like with the gate scroll thing and then the skins. And just give me a new hero. Give me some new shit to play with. Give me some new items. I couldn't care less about any of this stuff, to tell you the truth.
Countess is going to look like a walk.
You're telling me whenever 14 comes out, you're not going to try and get a mastery?
Yeah, I mean, I will. I'll try to get that Decker mastery because, like I said, I mean, it's somewhat important. It's nice, right? It's not that important. Like,
no, yeah, it's just a show off factor. That's all. That's all it really comes down to, right?
Like, they leak some of the patch notes for patch 14 rather than show me this picture. You know what I mean?
I'll be real. I was gonna say, like, what would be something cool? And this doesn't necessarily have to be even patch 14 related, but it's a good idea for them to produce content, promote patch 14 even further without hyping up new stuff. Just kind of focus on stuff that's already been said. Why don't they show a video of just like pick a character, right? Whichever character you guys fucking want, whichever they want, right? Whichever one's their favorite, and just show us that character in the game with each tier skin. So we see how the skins look like in the game. We see the animations, they can put a custom camera in there to actually see the character from the front and just show us what the actual skin is going to look like, how it's going to be alive. What skin are you excited to go for? You get where I'm coming from? Because at this point, the only one that we've seen is Narbash.
If they are indeed making a new map, though, like they're not going to do that. Like, that'd be giving too much away. Like,
You think so? They could literally just go to a corner of the map, to a wall, and we could be like, "That's a new wall."
Would be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, "That's a new wall," but they only showed us one fucking wall. Like, you feel me? What's the harm there?
So
They're not showing us everything.
I even with what Mangu said, I don't like that idea because the fact that like one, then you do that and it takes away from the content of the dev stream one, and then two, it's like you literally you gave me the especially what if I'm the one that I'm waiting for the mastery skin, right? We know Pappy is dead set waiting on that Richter.
With that Richter
skin, right?
master skin, yep.
And now all of a sudden they show you that video of Richter, all these Richter skins, and that was their Twitter post this week, and that's what he watched, and he's now like, you just told him the end of the movie. You spoiler alert, here you go.
I mean, we already know what the pictures of the Richter skin looks like.
Pictures, but you
but at the end of the day, like if he plays patch 14, he's gonna see all those skins before he even gets there. Let's say assuming that he doesn't have it already.
He has.
You could probably, but but I'm saying you could see that shit in the menu, right? If he goes to the menu and then he's like, "Yeah, it ain't for me," then that's it. You feel me? Like them showing a video isn't gonna be any harm done.
Pappy not only has the mastery skin, but he has extra ones he can give away. That's how many.
The difference is that those people loaded up the game for that amount of time. If you show them that Twitter post, they're not going to load up the game now. If they feel like, nope, that's not for me, I want nothing to do with that, I'll wait until patch 15 or whatever. You take that away from them. Then them loading up the game is a benefit for SMS. Because if they loaded up the game, there's a chance like, all right, well, I've already loaded up. Let me play a match. Them playing a match is a bonus for SMS.
So how do you feel about them doing something like that on like their least played hero, the least picked, the least hours clocked? You feel me? To where it would almost promote using that hero more. And then people are gonna want to boot up the game just to see what their hero looks like under those effects. You follow?
That's fine. I can see something like that. I mean, that would make sense because you're trying to, increase gameplay of that hero. So
it'd be like two birds, one stone sort of situation, you know?
Great would look good too.
So you mean put in Murdock's video? That's what you mean?
Jesus Christ, bro! No, yeah.
How do I kick him? What do I do?
Jesus.
What button is that? Mute? Anyways, no. So, but and not only you're killing two birds with one stone, but like it's the least played hero. If it's the least played hero, then that means there's probably the least amount of players that's their favorite. So you would only be upsetting a very small portion of this pond instead of upsetting a bigger portion of the pond if you used a more frequently used hero.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I'll be real with you. Here's my thing. I feel very strongly about what's been going on lately with, what feels like the delay of patch 14, etc. And we're going to go over some of the things that they've said in the Discord, but not publicly announced here in a moment. But I also want to try and do our best, not only as community members, but as partners, to try and make sure that our criticism stays constructive, because our points of views are going to be a little bit harsh at times, right? Just wanting to keep that in mind. And actually, since we mentioned what they've talked about in the chats, let's go over some of the things that they said here. So first of all, I don't like at all, I think it's very unprofessional that they pin something in the general chat and they're assuming that is letting the community know, right?
Yep.
I know millions of people that will never click on that little pin. I know millions of people that even reading that,
people are interested in fault.
100%, bro.
So the best example,
it's called Puerto Rico.
The best analogy I can come up with right now, and not to get crazy religious on it, but like there's people who go to church but don't read the Bible. Just because you're there doesn't mean you're going to read pinned messages. Just because you're a part of fault doesn't mean you're part of their Discord. You can't rely on a pinned message in Discord to be like, all right, there's an announcement or there's something, right? What needs to be done is that pinned message needs to become an announcement. Like we saw a dev in chat and said this and we pinned it. All right, if it was pinnable in Gen chat, then it's announceable on Twitter.
That's a good point. It's a literally. Is it less than 320 characters? Fucking post it, right? At this point, it's information for the community.
Or even just take a little snippet and post a snippet picture of the Gen 10 conversation. That's one character.
Now, you know what's interesting? On September 23rd, we see a post that says we no longer need bi-weekly posts since we will be showing off our game at a more frequent rate, and we can return to our full-on dev blogs. It's been over a month. Have we seen a dev blog?
No.
Okay. Have they been showing off their game at a more frequent rate? And the genuine question for everybody here in the voice show. I want to hear your opinions.
Nope. I mean,
Stunt.
Mango says no. Stunt.
I haven't, to be honest with you.
Stunt says no. Bearded.
No.
And here's my take on that. They've been showing off their progression of their game. Like, we've seen those posts, right? Like the whole, this is what we used to be like. This is what we're like now. We've seen those, right? They showed off the new skin. Like, they've been showing off a little bit, right? But I just don't think that they realize that the impact of hyping up a patch that hasn't come and that continues to kind of be like, oh, maybe next week, diminishes the effect that showing off could do. You get me?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things also that, quite frankly, when is the next, what are they called? The streams? The dev stream. Thank you. When's the next dev stream? You know, they mentioned that we're going to start doing those more often. So far, we've only seen one out of the three things they promised us. And that was just social media posts. We haven't seen any videos about any new stuff. We've seen videos about stuff that's changed in the past. I don't think that qualifies as an update video, like they stated, right? Now, they also mentioned on here about the mastery system. They say it's not based on matches played, but it's going to be an experience system that is affected by match time and how you played. 300 matches is probably an average it will take for mastery, as long as you're playing average or above average in most games. So Jamson goes in there and says an average, like a give or take on how long it's going to take you to get a full-on mastery skin. Now, that could be very well something that's going to be in the patch 14 notes, more than likely, right? But there's a shit ton of people asking themselves about that information. That got pinned 3 days ago in the Gen chat. And ever since then, they haven't said anything about that publicly. So I don't know if it's that they're choosing to wait because they're going to say it in the patch 14 notes. You get me? Maybe that's their mindset for not highlighting anything that's pinned in the Gen chat or whatever. So I don't know.
If it's already been made public knowledge, though, you should take advantage of that and let, if anything, take advantage of it and make it an announcement, because then people can't say that you haven't made an announcement. You can't.
Nothing new is coming out.
In my opinion, you can't claim the Gideon skin winner as an announcement. Like, we're looking for patch 14 announcements. All right, you making a Twitter post and all the socials post about the Gideon skin winner. Great job, Thomas Hardy. Awesome. Good on you. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for patch 14. The only reason that's related to patch 14 because that's the only time he gets to play it. Use that skin. That's the only reason it's related to patch 14.
I'm starting to wonder if there's something wrong with the patch, like that they can't release it, because it seems like,
really,
I mean, we can say all day that this is all. Hold on. Too early,
hold on. I want to make sure everybody knows this is all pure speculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because all we have to go off of is speculation.
It's all
unfortunately
we have to go off is speculation. I want to make sure everybody knows it's speculation. Okay, but yes, go ahead and continue, Mangoose, about what you think about this patch.
It just seems like they announced it so long ago. You would think that it would have been out by now. Like, I totally thought that patch 14 would be out by now from when they announced it. it really makes me think that something went wrong and that they can't release it.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I think, and this is just on, hindsight 2020. I really do think we here at the partner panel might be partially to blame as to why patch 14 isn't here. I know you probably weren't expecting that shit from me, but hindsight 2020, I think, because we publicly said and the community agreed, if they release patch 14 and that shit is just mastery system, just AIs, everybody's going to be disappointed. We unanimously agreed, right?
Well, yeah.
Now, hold on. Yes. But before we start breaking it down, they mentioned in the chat, confirming, Fresher says, yes, we have one hero coming out with patch 14. And then they're going to continue to do more heroes after that. But
like they did in the past, in parentheses.
Correct. But what if the fact that we made that statement, you feel me? What if the fact that they realize, hey, the community wants to see more than just that? And now they're going to add it.
I'm upset with it because the fact that the reason I had a problem with 14, that only being what 14 is the same reason I have a problem today is the mods in Gen Chat overhyping, mods and testers. Anybody who's able to actually play this game on 14 right now and is actually seeing what is actually happening, and they get to know, we don't know anything about it, but they know, they get to hype this up and they get to tell everybody, oh, it's amazing. And all you're doing is overhyping it. And when you say the statement overhyping, that's obviously a negative connotation, right? It's overhyped. When it does get here, it's not going to be as well received. It's going to be very lackluster because it was overhyped. If you would have just been quiet and said 14's coming, when 14 got here as mastery skins and AI, we would have been, oh my God, this is great improvements. And especially if 14 would have came 3 months ago, that would have been a 3 months from 13 to 14. It would have been fine. Like, hey, we're making movements. Look how good this team is moving. We went from 13 all back end stuff. We got AI, we got mastery. Let's go. My problem was overhyping, and it's still continuing. It went from right then to when 14 was getting announced. Overhyping started right then. And obviously, patch 14 wasn't ready, but they were hyping it up like it was ready.
I mean, you can ask amazing. You can ask any mod right now or any team member. If you ask them about 14, they genuinely are going to tell you about the size of patch 14, how massive of a patch it is, but we don't know. You feel me? They're going to tell you how massive of a patch it is. They're going to tell you there's a lot of things that have not been seen. And this was just an active conversation that we had today. A lot of things that have not been seen, but they won't tell you how much, right? Which I do think saying stuff like that really, really is just 100% subjective. Like, it's so unique to your perspective as an individual. You feel me? Just like patch 13 was massive to some people. And for other people, it was like, the game feels a little better. What else has changed? Well, they've done a couple tweaks here and there. Like, I had a team member in my voice chat when I had a new player that hasn't played Fault since December 2020. They hadn't played Fault for 9 months. They played it. We spent like maybe 6 hours playing. After that, I had a team member in the voice chat with me. Again, at this point, disclaimer, the individual that was giving me his opinion did not know that there was a team member in the voice. He had no idea. He was just giving me his honest opinion. I was like, hey, by the way, since you got a chance to play Fault in 9 months, how do you feel about it? Tell me, what's going through your head? And homie says, I mean, they added a few items here and there, but it doesn't feel like the game's changed much since December 2020. And I know for a fact that the individual that was listening, it hit him. You feel me? Like he felt that comment, because even though when you literally sit there and we have a list tallied up and we read all these different things, you be like, damn, a lot of shit has changed since then. But it is small shit that when you're looking at the compound effect, the majority of that shit that has been added, unless you're looking at an item, the majority of that shit that has been changed can easily be missed if it's not somebody that has been sitting here looking at the game every single day. Somebody can come in and be like, wait, those animations on Gideon's glowing hands, that wasn't there before? I didn't even notice.
Interesting.
You get me?
Yeah.
And I think one of their biggest feedbacks that I would give them and that they have to consider is perception, right? Because every post that they make, every news that they give, when they take feedback and they give an answer back, this goes for mods, team members, etc. It's all coming from the perspective of somebody that is daily involved in this game, right? Like, it's all coming from the perspective and feedback that it's like, hey, this patch is going to be amazing. It's huge. You're going to like, you guys are going to love it, this and that, but they don't tell you what it is, right? But I want them to just kind of sit there and actually think from the outside looking in, because when from the outside looking in, motherfuckers are looking for patches. Like, patch 14 is getting so hyped up, motherfuckers think that they're going to get Destiny DLC.
Right?
Like, you get me? They're expecting new fucking missions. They're expecting new guns. They're expecting blah, blah, blah. Like new levels to rank up, new ability. Like, they're expecting a shit ton because of how much is being hyped up.
Yep.
When a active community member might be able to see the majority of those differences, right? The key thing is we're tailored, like, this patch is tailored more likely based off of what they told us. This patch is tailored towards new incoming players, which aren't going to know the difference. And towards players that have already left, maybe we can bring them back and retain them. So at that point, is it going to be enough? I want to hear from you guys. Give me a sec.
Go ahead, guys. I'll let you go first.
I have no idea if it's going to be enough because we don't know what the patch is. And I would like to see the patch notes, but they shouldn't release the patch notes until they're about to release the patch, of course.
Oh, definitely not.
We've already seen
right.
Them just saying that there's going to be a patch 14 and it's going to have this, that, and this and that.
Right.
And then not releasing it it's I don't know. I don't think it's that big of an impact on their overall success, but God, it's killing their current player base. Like, it feels like we're being fucked with and led around by the nose a bit. Like, I know several people that every Tuesday are checking for those. Did it drop? Did it drop? Did it drop? And then it's just so much disappointment when it hasn't dropped. Like, I would rather just not know that the patch was ever coming out than what we've got going on right now. I don't care for it at all.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% agree with you. Like, you didn't have to. Don't put the title 14 on it. If you want to talk about AI and mastery skins, talk about AI mastery skins coming up in the future. That's fine, But then when the next big patch, which would have been 14, or which is going to be 14, when that's the next big patch, fine, go ahead. And guess what, guys? This is the next big patch. Here's the patch notes. Oh shit, the AI mastery skin they've been talking about, it's all in this patch. We're getting it now, guys. Let's go. That's what it should have been. But now we're talking about patch 14. 3 months ago, thinking, all right, well, we've already put a title on it. We know it's 14. We know 14 is coming with this. Waiting, and it's all just waiting, right? But even with it, if that's what you're going to do, it's still not the right way to do it. What you said, Mangoose, is the right way to do it. Don't say anything until this is ready. That's the 100% right way to do that. When you guys SMS, if you're listening, when you guys have 15, when you guys are working on 15, don't say anything about it. Literally, when you're ready, hey, when Ryan Red gets told, hey, 15's ready, go ahead and put patch notes out. Now let's hype up 15. Now we're gonna hype up 15 for 3 days or whatever. Bam, drop the notes. Bam, drop the patch. Here we go. That's what needs to happen, right? Not when, hey, we're working on 15, bring it up.
Who's to say that isn't what happened, and then last minute they decided to change things, or last minute some shit came up, or last minute, you get me?
That's
like maybe they thought like they were ready.
Wrong with the patch.
Well, unfortunately, that's the I don't even want to say the word expectation. That's almost the assumption that everybody is kind of coming to, because it was talked about like it was ready, and it's just like another week. Now it can't officially and formally be delayed because they never set a date. So there's that, right?
Hold on. Bucket says communicate too little, get flamed. Communicate too much, get flamed. No. All right. I told you earlier, if you don't put a title on it, don't put 14 on it. You can sit there and talk to me all day you want about Aeon Mastery skins. Don't tell me it's coming with 14. I'm getting updates. I'm getting the communication that I'm asking for, and I'm not flaming anything. But you put a title on it and you talk about 14 like it's ready, and here we are. Like how long now? And we all thought 14 was coming when? And it's still not here? That's the issue.
I think there really is such a thing as too little communication and too much communication. They have to,
well, there is.
They have to strike that sweet spot.
Or at the very least, if you are going to hype it up, leave the weekly patch notes up. Don't take that away too. Don't tease everybody with weekly patch notes and then say, hey, we're going to stop this and go quiet. I mean,
I'm glad that they announced that they were going to go quiet, but yeah, they need to, if they're not going to drop the patch, then just tell us it's not coming this week. so I'm not looking all throughout the day.
Again, I'm going to beat a dead horse when I say this, but I just really, really wish that there were a deadline, something. At least give me a month. You got 12 to pick from. You feel me? If they can at least give me a month like they did with 13, and then even in 13, they're like, hey, it's going to be one of these 2 months. We're aiming for this one. Might be this one. We'll see. But you feel me? They literally went for fucking 2 out of 12 as a maybe. 60 fucking days as a maybe. They can't even give me that anymore. Like, I really, really wish they could give me that. Now, okay, so I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you guys something on stream here. And this is something that hasn't been seen yet, right? And I guess you could call this a partner panel exclusive as far as what I'm about to show. Now, I will preface before I show this, I have mixed feelings about this. Because
feelings about all of them.
Everything. I know. Leave me alone, bro. Right. But here's my thing on it. Now, I'm going to show a picture of terrain, is what I'm going to call it, that's actually being built for fall. We don't know if it's map. We don't know if it's like some random corner, just kind of like background outside of the lanes, whatever it may be, right? But I'm going to show this. I want everybody to give me their opinions on it. And then I'm going to then share with you my personal opinion on what I see. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the stream for everybody to see as well. But everybody that's watching, take a good look at what you see. For those of you listening in podcast form, let me break this down here for you. So we're looking at some terrain. It looks like some sort of river. We see trees. We see like a rock bed in the background. Clouds and mountains off to the right side. It literally looks like maybe one of the ends of what the river might be. Now, very, very important to say also, this is all subject to change. Subject for some polish until final release. Doesn't mean it's a final product, but we can see different lighting elements going on here. We can, like we said, vegetation. This gives me more hope. But again, like something like this, to me, also worries me. But let's go down the list. Bearded, what do you think about what you see here?
I think it's beautiful. Like there's some work to it. But I mean, just for like just an art right now, that art that's being worked on, like I would have loved for this to be the scroll art instead of what they showed us with the scroll, gate scroll. This should have been something that had been the announcement. The whether, I don't care what it is, and even in Odo says it looks like it's almost like lore art, you know. And if it is lore art, fine. Let us know you're working on lore. I don't care. That's an announcement. That's something that's telling us to the future of the game, and that's substantial in my opinion. Gate scroll being updated is not substantial because that gate scroll art worked just fine in 13, 12, 11. I mean, count back all these patches, it were fine. Well, there's a couple patches the gate scroll didn't work, but that's got to do with the art. This is great. I love it. The tree laying across the river there looks like is great. I wonder, is that something, if this is in game, can we use that as verticality? Are we able to climb up that tree?
Oh, you mean like a little trunk ramp sort of deal? Yeah,
a little ramp was going on. You know, the branches look like it's almost impossible to do that, but it's still, you know, it kind of gives you it opens up verticality with your eyes, like you can see something there. You know, so I like it.
So I just got confirmation that this is an in-game screenshot of the map. I already had an idea like that it was from like, you know, maybe one of the side, like the ends of the river or whatever, because towards
my opinion greatly.
Because towards the middle top, a little bit to the left above the rocks, you can clearly see the dusk walls there.
Yeah.
You get me?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I already had some sort of inclination that it was like maybe towards one of the side lanes, like just something that you can kind of see past, right?
Goose's opinion and then his change.
So yeah, I want to hear what you originally thought, and then how it changed.
What I was going to say is, this is an implication that they have a new map, which is big stuff. But what I was going to say is, if this is just some art that they made to throw us off, I would be pissed when we didn't get a new map in patch 14. But if they're saying that this is an in-game shot of their map, we're getting a new map.
Now,
well, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean we're getting it in patch 14.
That's what I was about to say. Like, and that's where I'm very, very mixed feelings. What if we're getting shown a little snippet of a corner of the new map, and this shit isn't going to come for another 6 months?
Okay.
Oh no, it still looks good. I would still be looking forward to it, but I don't want to see it before patch 14 if it's not going to be in patch 14. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like an order of relevance sort of deal. Like if it's not part of the next upcoming patch, why show it?
You're rubbing titties in my face, but I'm not getting any payoff.
That is the randomest fucking comparison.
And
What the hell?
behind the glass wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Your face is on the wall, right?
I can look, but I can't touch. What is this?
So I'm okay with it being before 15 or before 14, right? If let's say it comes out in 15, right? I'm okay with it because right now 14 is focused on player retention and new players, right? There really is nothing for the current player base. So showing us something that's coming towards the future is just something to kind of, here you go. Like here's for all these, you know, retention of people who are maybe thinking about leaving, whatever, and new players. Here's for the current player base that has no thought of leaving, but you're getting nothing really with the new player base situation, right? Here's something you could also look at, but everybody can also enjoy. Here's, you know, something to look forward to. I'm okay with it. Don't give me a next patch so I can think, all right, hey, if this is 15, just give me this. And like, okay, this is something we're working on. Great. I know you're working on it. I don't care if it comes in 17. I know you're working on it. Awesome. Thank you.
So worth mentioning, somebody in the chat says, is this going to be part of the map that we can play on, or is this going to be an outside of the map we can look at? I'll be honest with you, there's no way to tell, but considering I see clouds on the far end, I would be willing to bet, just based off of the map design that we've seen in games in general in the past, right? We all remember that one edge of the map where you can just see off into the distance and it's like, oh, I can't cross because these twigs are in my way. Weird. You know what I mean? Like that's
off lane or duo lane. It looks like
just one of the sides, because there's a river. There's clearly a river right there in the middle.
Opening into the river.
Now, worth mentioning, I just got confirmation that whatever we're seeing here is part of patch 14.
Well, that is fucking amazing then, because I was not expecting a new map at all. I know a lot of people were asking for it. I was not expecting.
We're saying it doesn't necessarily mean it's new. It could be a revamp. Maybe this is
even if it's an aesthetic update to to the maps.
Yeah,
it's fucking huge.
I'm fine with that too.
If this is not an aesthetic update.
Well, I'll be real with you. You know what this reminds me of too? You know that over in Duo Lane, how it's like the only part of the map that you can actually see outside of the walls, and they have these random ass rocks sitting there. What if this is more towards that side, towards the side that you can actually view past the horizon, and it's like, yo, this is the actual world that you're playing in.
Hold up. Before we even give any more ideas of what this is, shout out to Espada and Mr. No Mercy if this is what they're creating.
Yeah, this looks nice.
I mean,
this is
honest, exciting.
Badass.
Honestly, though, are you surprised? I mean, we've talked about it.
We've talked about the potential.
Fault has talented artists. This doesn't surprise me. I mean, this is
surprised.
Amazing.
I'm surprised in the fact that this is what we're getting with 14. That's what I'm surprised with. I'm not surprised with their potential. These guys, I know they can do work. All right. Don't take me the wrong way when I say that. I know they can do work. Right. But I wasn't expecting the work that we're getting as soon as we're getting it. And I say as soon as we're getting it, but we don't know when 14 is coming. Stay tuned.
Oh, Odo with a good catch.
So Odo says, yo, is that symbol on the rock the old card creator from Paragon? Wow, bro. You know what? Holy shit. That little card creator. What the? Oh my God.
And it's smashed in the river as if it's nothing now.
This is where your card system ended up, in the fucking water, bro.
It's just the remnants of the system.
That's actually funny.
The map, you're out of there.
That's actually funny as shit. It doesn't have to be true, but in my mind, it's true now. Like, you imagine? Be like, hey, man, this is what we think of your card system. Water, dog water.
Man. It is a lane. Like, it looks like a lane to me. It is definitely more than an aesthetic update, because you've got some verticality there that doesn't exist on the current map.
A lot of verticality, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like, if we're not.
That was the fun
for one.
Was the verticality.
For one, it's got a river, actually.
A river does run through it.
We don't have a river in the map we're currently playing on. There is. It's called the river, but that's not what's there.
That's one of the staples. It can't be called a MOBA unless there is a river.
All right, you know what I like to see? I'm actually seeing a real tree. You know, in a game, obviously. But you remember how when Fault Early Access first came out, there were trees, actual trees. Like, I still got pictures of trees and, you know, fucking foliage everywhere and shit. And on the side lanes, there were trees. There was an optimization update at some point. Yeah, there was an optimization update at some point that it literally ended up just being like pictures of trees against the wall. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, well, they were, and that was needed, though. I mean,
100%.
Visuals were great, but there was obviously issues with the game. Like, ping systems were crazy high. You know, like it was insane. And I think the UE system was crashing more often. So once they did the optimization that brought that down, crashes, you know, were limited, you know, a lot less. And then, you know, the ping wasn't so high. It was definitely needed. And you know, but I can't wait for them to work on more optimization and, you know, creating this stuff with the map and making it beautiful with optimization to where we can run with these beautiful views again.
Yeah, and somebody in chat was mentioning, it's like, yo, that looks more like a stream, not a river. Like, that shit doesn't look too big. And
we can't see over the edge, though.
Yeah, like I was saying too, we are kind of looking at just a small section too, right? With rocks. Who's to know if that shit opens up to like a bigger river or whatnot? And I mean, typically in MOBAs, I mean, we've seen
drought.
Yeah, it's a drought, Lama. It needs to rain.
You can see the river that I used to have right here. The dam broke, so there's no more river. So it looks more water on the picture than there is over here. So
I guess. I don't know, bro. Like, I'll be real. Here's my thing too. I would definitely encourage SMS to it's good to make posts about where you came from. It's good
100%.
to show progression, because that there's a lot of people, especially a lot of new people, they're not going to know all the hard work that's been put into this game. All that shit is amazing. What I would advise is be very, very cautious about the timing of your post, the timing of your events.
Huge.
Because everything that they've shown in the past month, for example, over social media is dope. That's a lot of initiative, a lot of good progressive movement as far as social media and, interacting with the community and such. But they need to be very, very mindful. If, for example, if they're hyping up patch 14, the focus is going to be patch 14. Everything that you put out that's not patch 14 is already going to perform at a lower standard. It's going to hit people a different way. Excuse me, because of that expectation.
Yeah.
So
if you have something like this and you undersell it, when it comes to fruition, people are going to fall in love with it because you told them that this was something. I'm not saying tell me that your patch is dog shit. Don't come in here and just trash in your own post, but don't hype it up the way that's being hyped up with this much time frame, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
if it's right around the corner, hype the shit out of it and get this hype train rolling, because when 14 drops, we're playing, boys.
Which worries me about this picture too. I don't want, I hope this isn't the case that we're seeing this picture and new map. Now you have an excuse that you're not going to get the patch for another month because they're working on a new map.
But this isn't the river. This is Rampage in all form pissing away the old card system.
Jesus Christ, man. I can't with you.
Yeah, I'm with Bearded though. Don't tell me about the patch till it's almost ready. Don't tell me about the patch 3 months in advance, because then I got patch blue balls. I got fault blue balls right now.
Yeah.
And it's just getting worse and worse every week. Every Tuesday that I don't see those patch notes drop.
It helps make the game stale, right? If you're not thinking of you're not hey, I know what's coming, then you're not okay, I know something's better. You're sitting okay, this is what I got. I'm working with this. I got this. But because you told me about 14 and what it's so much better, and you're telling me this is amazing, I'm looking at what I'm playing. I'm well, this isn't that fun.
It's a touch up on what you were saying. If it's a touch up what you were saying, Windu, the question you asked, if worst case scenario, because of the partner panel, they decided maybe the stuff that they were going to bring out with patch 14 is just not enough and they're extending it. I mean, you helped them out. You know what I mean? If let's say theoretically speaking, what you were saying is true about all of us agreeing that only an AI system and a mastery system is not enough for patch 14, and they take a look at it and say, hey, maybe it really isn't. Maybe we need to extend it. Then we actually help them out, because again, what coming back to this picture, what I'm seeing here, I'm loving. And it wouldn't bother me if they tell me, you know what, patch 14.3 will have this, or whatever the case may be. It wouldn't, because I love what I'm seeing. I love this progress.
If that is the case, going back to that whole what if scenario, if it's the case that we prolonged 14, for one, I got to say I'm sorry to the community, because I know you guys don't want 14. So I apologize if we are the ones that put this in the situation. But if that's what they're doing and that's what they decided to do, then there should have been some kind of a sly announcement. There's a way you can politically word something to make it sound in a good way that, hey, 14 is going to take a little bit longer for whatever reason. We want you guys to be wowed by 14, right? We know you guys are excited about AI mastery system and AI and mastery system, but we want you to be wowed by 14. So we're going to take a little bit longer. All right. Give us a few months and we'll bring a wow 14 to you. Okay. Stick with us. And that would have been the announcement. Fine. We would have known from a few months from when we were thinking 14 was going to be there. We got to wait. We know a few months. We're good. That gives us somewhat of a time frame. A few months can be anywhere from 3 to 6, right? That, I know it's not as narrowed as Windu likes it, but that's still a time frame.
At least it's a time frame, to be honest with you.
It's not, and it doesn't like pin them down. It gives them something, and then nobody's sitting here waiting every day, every Tuesday in Gen Chat, waiting for hoping that something's going to happen, and then we get nothing.
And then it gives us reason to tell our community too. Hey, you know what? This is what we got. This is what was confirmed. Just hold off a little bit.
Yeah, so I see in the chat, JPA is actually saying, I just hope they market behind this patch because having AI will draw players away from casual queue. This game needs players more than anything else. And that's something that we've actually mentioned multiple times in the past. People got to be mindful. If that many people are looking forward to AI matches, it might honestly get to the point that when patch 14 drops, it might be easier to queue 5 people versus AI than it will be to an actual PvP match until the community gets acclimated and gets comfortable enough to want to go to PvP.
And I'm 100% okay with that. I can sit there, me and Mangoose can sit there and just go dual lane against AI matches and joke around and have a good old time. And the stream is just going to have a blast because me and Mangoose are just going to joke around and have a blast. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if we have actual people in front of us going against us or if we're going against AI, right? Do we enjoy? We could enjoy both. I'm sorry if I'm speaking for you, Mangoose, but I'm sure that I feel confident in what I'm saying. Well, you're being okay with it.
If you were speaking for me, you would say Mangoose and I in proper English.
Oof! Are you kidding me? Have you seen what state he's from?
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck do you know? You're from West Virginia.
Exactly. I'm from West Virginia, and I talk more better than you guys.
Mo better.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, but eventually everybody's going to want to play PvP because that's that's what attracts you to these games. We could have a blast just playing against AI, but AI is going to be great. I kind of wonder if AI is going to feed into the mastery system. That's a whole different topic, but we could have a blast with it. But eventually, you got to get those PvP numbers up because that's what people are going to want to play. You can only go so far playing against AI before you get bored of it.
No, I agree. And I think that's it. PvP will never die, in my opinion. I just think when 14 first drops, people are having issues right now with the low player base finding a game, right? And I think when 14 first drops, it's going to be either similar to or maybe even worse trying to find a game because people are they're testing out the AI system. Let's go play AI, see what that's like. All the new players that you guys are playing against right now and being toxic to in chat are playing AI. So you're losing the PvP player base for a little bit or a good chunk of it to AI. So but it's never going to die. People are going to want to go back to eventually play it. But if you are having at least now with the AI system, if you queue up and you've been sitting there for 10 minutes and you can't find a match, you can end queue, hit the AI button, queue up, play AI, and you can be able to get some games in still.
Test some builds and shit.
Yeah, you can't do that right now.
Yeah, I'm really looking for AI. I think it's going to be a great thing for the game. What I'm personally looking forward to the most is replay functionality, but that's just my personal thing. I realize that's not an important part of the game to many people out there, but I really want to see that replay.
It's not, but it's definitely, they've already announced, well, they've said back in the past that replay functionality is huge for them because they're the one that announced that they want to have a ranked match, have esports. They're like, that's their like end goal focus, right? And to get to that, you got to have a replayability. So they're definitely going to be working on it.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a priority by any means, but I want to see it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it as well. Do you think it's something that they should have before full release?
Yeah, I think they should. Mainly because it's just part of the Unreal Engine. Like it's a module that you implement into the game. It's not like super hard to do or anything. It's just not something they should be prioritizing over a new map and new heroes.
Gotcha.
I don't know, man. Like, I'll be real with you. I really do say that phrase too fucking much in these episodes. So here's my thing. This map insight picture.
It makes me wonder if there's times that you're not going to be real with us.
Too, right? All the other time I'm bullshitting. You caught me. You caught me.
Yeah.
Caught me. But like, I don't know, because seeing this excites me, but seeing this map screenshot is also a double-edged sword. Because now people are going to want patch 14 even more. You get me? And here's the thing that's dangerous for me. Like we've talked about this in the past, but today in general chat, Bearded was there. We were having discussions with the mods, in a public setting. Everybody was able to chime in. And we were talking about the fact that the game itself never got an official release date for patch 14. There was never an official time frame, an official date, nothing. So as far as we, the community, and everybody's concerned, the patch is not delayed, right?
Right.
Not personally, and that feels a little cheap to me because it's never going to be delayed because then the time frame was never said. Patch 14 can come out a year from now. It's not delayed. We never said it was coming out that day or the month after.
Smart.
Right?
Right.
That's marketing jargon at the end of the day. And then consider on top of that, when we look here and we're like, okay, so not only is patch 14 not been given a date, but they sit here and they're talking about like a lot. Like, for example, this picture right here that we saw about the map screenshot, this is hyping up patch 14. The fact that patch 14 has been talked about for a certain time frame, it literally comes out like, if you do not give an expectation, the expectation will be made for you. If you do not give a time frame, people are going to make their own time frame. For a game that's taking its time, and I'm sorry to say this publicly, it looks like Strange Matter is taking their time. It's okay if they take their time. If they want to make a better product and take their time, that is fine. But for a game and a company that is taking their time to do shit, they don't have the luxury to leave a time frame up in the air. They don't have the luxury to start talking about patch 14 in September, and we're sitting here in November, and they're like, it's still not delayed. That's just not good for perception, because people already at this point think that patch 14 is delayed. Like Mangoose was mentioning, it is understandable because it just doesn't, 2 and 2 don't go together. Whenever you're like, okay, they've been talking about patch 14 since September, we're now in November, and we still don't got patch 14.
And that's
what happened?
The point, because you got mods and testers. These people have the ability to play the game, right? And they're the ones that are in Gen Chat hyping this up because they're able to test it, right? And so they're able to see what's going on, and they're hyping it up. If something's not working so well, you're not going to hype it up to hey, this is amazing, right? But you're hyping it up. So when you're hyping it up, it's like, okay, that means, hey, we must be pretty close. And then with everything else that's going on with the blogs and the announcements, hey guys, we've been doing bi-weekly blogs. We're going to stop those so we can focus on 14. Okay, well, so when we were doing the Blue Weekly blogs, we weren't focusing on 14? Is that what you're telling me? Because we still haven't got 14. No, it makes it sound like, hey, we're going to stop the Blue Weekly blogs so we can focus on 14, and 14 is right around the corner. That's the insinuation that is made with that blog post. All right? And then when you don't bring out a patch for 2 weeks because you're focusing on 14, that insinuates that 14 is around the corner. It's all the insinuation. In the military, you find out a saying, and Mangoose will agree with me, perception is reality. All right. And that's what's being perceived. It's being perceived that 14 is right around the corner with everything that's going on. And when we go around the corner, okay, well, there's another corner. And you go around the corner, it's like, all right, well, there's another corner. There's only that's what's the problem is. And if we don't hype it up, if you undersell it in a sense, I'm not saying like downplay it, but just undersell it. Don't give me all this hype. Just say, hey, we're working on 14. That's, as a mod and a tester, that's all you got to say. We're working on 14. It's coming. Team's working hard. You don't have to tell me that this thing is the best. This 14's massive. You don't need to tell me this.
And I'll be real with you. I also want to throw out there that it's okay to let your community know the stage of progression that you're in without necessarily telling them what all is included. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like imagine, imagine if they started testing patch 14 a month ago, or if they're gonna start testing patch 14 a month from now. Little stages like that just kind of lets the community know in a little bit of an insight. You know what? We're kind of, we're at least this far. Because for right now, if I ask the community, you guys know how far along patch 14 is? Nobody knows.
In chat.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like it really is one of those things that it is possible to inform the community of your progress without spilling the beans. Does that make sense? Am I crazy in thinking that?
I just hope they learn from this, because right now they're only pissing off like 200 people. Like that's the benefit of having a low player base. Whenever you do something that pisses people off, you're not pissing that many people off. And this is people that are going to stick with the game anyway. So I just hope they learn from this experience with patch 15.
True.
Like if they do market 14 and they do get a much larger player base, then I hope whenever they release their next patch, they've learned from this 14 shit, because it has not been good. They did not handle patch 14 well.
Thus far, you mean?
Snifflefish. First time chatter in chat. Thanks for chatting. Appreciate you. He says, they say, sorry. Point 13 was just as hyped, and we lost 500 concurrent players just after 13 dropped. I think that hyping this patch up so much is going to be its bane. It's going to be even more of a letdown if it doesn't deliver, especially if people remember how big of a letdown 13 was. Patch 13, and then so somebody else. But yeah, that's literally what I'm saying. So, all right, I'm a partner telling you that. Now you got a community member telling you that. What else? Who else needs to say this? All right, but we got mods in chat that are just laughing it off, saying "hype me up, daddy." Like they literally don't care that what they're doing, and that's what bothers me. Is like you guys don't understand the detriment you guys are actually doing to this. It actually is. Right now, it doesn't look so bad because it's only 200 players, right? But if you continue, if you don't learn from your mistakes, like Mangoose was saying, right? And when we get a bigger player base and we realize that the mods are just making a mockery of it, it is what it is. Like you're pushing people away because they're not going to care anymore.
But I will say from like a different perspective too, like patch 13, you guys say we're overhyped. I have no fucking idea because I wasn't paying attention to Fault by then. By then I had lost interest in Fault and had drifted away to other things. And but patch 13, after I tried it, brought me back to the game because the gameplay was my biggest issue. I could not, the game didn't feel right to me at all. I think it still needs improvement, but patch 13 brought it around quite a bit. So patch 13 brought me back, but I can see where they would lose players if they did overhype 13. Like I can see where they would lose players now with 14 because I've had a lot of people that I've been playing with and they've been so excited about 14. And then as that excitement falls off, they've been playing less and less. Today, right. I found it very difficult to find a game too. Like there's less people playing.
Yeah.
As the excitement for 14 wears off, people are fucking ejecting. And then they're just not going to be around when it drops.
I mean, there is only 9 people that submitted for the Gideon skin because there's nobody around to pay attention to it.
So
it's not just paying attention to it. It's like, yeah, I play Gideon too. Gideon's one of my main. But looking at that that competition telling me that I'll get my skin in patch 14, you know what? When patch 14 comes out, I'll just buy it. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to grind and give you a clip for a patch I don't even know when it's coming out. I think Hardy deserves to get that skin right now to flex it. That's what I think.
Or you imagine you just queue into a match and out of nowhere, like skin just shows the fuck up in your lobby. Bro, yeah. Get me out. I'm going to be geeked 100%. Now, all right. Here's my thing, though. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. Bailey says in chat, mods mod the Discord. They aren't official mouthpieces for SMS regarding info. So technically, yes, you're right. You're not wrong with that statement, but that's the perception of it, right? If you go, we can't just go to Discord as a community member and just talk to the devs and get information, right? Because the devs are busy creating the game. So the only information we can get are from the mods, right? So the mods are essentially then the mouthpieces. They can only say what's been passed down or whatever, or what they know. You're right. It's not officially the mouthpieces, but that's the only information we can get from it. That's the problem. And Bucket, because of the conversation at the situation.
Yeah, like, we're totally not talking about. We're totally not talking about Bucket.
He was the one I called out. No, he's the one I called out because he says, "Hype me up, Daddy." And then ... When I'm talking about the fact that mods are over here hyping this game up to a point that's actually going to ruin the game, and he says that, I read it, I misinterpreted it. So my Bucket, my apologies, because you're right. I don't see you in Gen Chat doing this. All right. So I do apologize to you openly right now. All right.
Yeah, no, I was about to say.
At the time when I read that, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I think that was just a out of context example that you were using. But the conversation that Bearded and I had earlier in the Gen Chat, that's what we're mainly referring to, because we've had similar conversations like that several times, right? And yeah. I'm like, for example, I'm okay if the mods, and here's something that I do find interesting, and I just want to talk about it in general, right? I'm okay if mod team members, etc., come out and they're like, okay, so like, for example, if a mod tells me I know as much as you do, but patch 14 has so much stuff in it, you're gonna be amazed. Then you don't know as much as I do, bro.
That's what Bailey said. Bailey says mods know what you know, but we're being told by mods that patch 14 is massive.
And it's amazing. It's going to rock our socks off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little bit of a conflicting information because at the end of the day, you got to think about it. That is subjective. It's subjective to your personal experience. And it's okay. People
we're hyping it up. That's exactly what we're talking about. If you don't know, then don't hype it up. Don't make it bigger than what it may actually be.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really do feel like at the end of the day, anybody that has experienced the patch, if it's not ready, they probably shouldn't talk about it, even how amazing it is, right? And if they don't know about it, if mods really do know as much as we know, maybe it should just be one of those things that, as far as the team is concerned, everybody across the board should literally just say, can't really talk about it much right now. We'll wait and see. You know what I'm saying? Just a unanimous decision across the board. Like,
Billy says they have their own opinion, just like you. I was told in a DM from a mod that I am an influencer and I'm to be believed and trusted. All right. Are the mods not the same situation? So when that mod says this next patch is massive, is he not supposed to be believed and trusted? Is that not the same situation? Like, that's hypocrisy at its finest. Is it really the same situation? Like, the whole point is I'm not in Gen Chat hyping this patch up because you know what? This patch can be huge, but I want the community to experience it at the amazing ability that what it can be. I know nothing of it. I'm not a tester. I'm a partner. I play the game. I love it. And I want the game to completely succeed. And it can succeed more if it's not overhyped. Take the word over out of it. Let it just be hyped. And it'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing too. Like, within the subject of relevancy and subjectiveness, right? If we don't know when patch 14 is coming out, and we're under the assumption that the mod team doesn't know when patch 14 is coming out, right? We're under the assumption that probably the majority of people don't know except the core internal team. Probably shouldn't be, like, you probably should be choosing words a little bit more carefully, right? Or maybe adding a sense of more realism to the conversation. Because here's the thing, like I told you guys, even with this map picture that we have here, this map picture looks dope. It excites me. It's awesome. But I don't know if this is of something that we're going to see in the next week or we're going to see in 6 months.
Right.
There needs to be a clarification in there to ground it down. There is you look at this with a caution, with a warning. We have no time frame. And I do think that a lot of maybe the misunderstanding, a lot of the misconception of what is said probably is directly related to the fact that there is no, warning, caution, to whom it may concern.
Right.
You might not see it this week, or it may take a while. Like patch, like if someone said patch 14 is probably a massive patch, that might be why it's taking so long. It may take a while. Those are there's a lot of clarifiers in there, or classifiers technically, to let you know that this information isn't 100% solid and it is subject to change. But whenever you give a definite statement, it doesn't matter if it's a partner, it doesn't matter if it is a moderator, a team member, we all represent this company in some way, shape, or fashion. We all need to claim that responsibility. It's as simple as that. We need to be mindful of what we say, because sometimes that one word that's missing, the maybe that's missing out of that sentence, can be misconstrued. You get what I'm coming from? Am I getting a little bit too real here for everybody? Does that make sense?
You're right. No, you're right.
So I would just say everything that you hear, and this is coming from my mouth, quote me if you want. Everything that you have heard about patch 14, take it with a grain of salt. Because things are subject to change. This map picture that we're looking at right now, that shit might not look like that when it actually gets implemented. Take everything with a grain of salt. And this is a message of Strange Matters. It does come with a caveat. Taking everything with a grain of salt means that we don't know what to believe in. We're not 100% sure what to trust as a community, because what we see, cool. But is this just something to hype us up, or is this something we're actually going to get? And the longer something takes after being informed, you feel me? Everybody's finding out about this patch 14 map adjustment, we'll call it. We don't know if it's a full new map. Everybody's finding out about this right now. If we don't get patch 14 for another 2 to 3 months, the longer it takes, the more doubt is created, the more problems arise, the more your community is affected. Distrust starts getting built up in there. It literally is a time-sensitive issue. You just got to be cautious about the timing of when shit gets mentioned.
And people care less.
That's what I said earlier. That's what the announcement, hey, this is going to take a few months. That's what needs to be put out there. You say that few months, you give yourself that cushion. And once people are like, all right, hey, it was told a few months, because even then you're always going to have those people, hey, patch when, whatever, right? They're going to do it. It's going to happen. Right. But that's going to happen on a less, on a smaller scale. Right. So if it happens on a smaller scale, then the mods are only, hey, announcement said in a few months, right? That's all we got for you. And then they just, rinse and repeat for those people that keep on asking patch when. But the majority of us can be like, all right, few months. All right, it's been 3 months. Any news? That's a few, but a few could be, like I said, anywhere from here to 6 months. We got some time, and then you can start asking then. But if you give that cushion, then you have all right, they said it's going to, something, they're doing this. They want to wow us. Give us a few months. Got it.
And I'm going to say something here specifically towards partners. And I hope every partner listens to me. And if they get upset at what I'm saying, good. Because at the end of the day, partners, stop fucking telling people try this game after patch 14. Because as amazing as patch 14 may be, we are literally putting out there a warning label. This game is not good enough now. We're also simultaneously saying, if you wanted to give it a shot, don't yet. Just wait for it. Like, it's one of those things that I've heard a lot of individuals say this. And it really is, like, it's not horrible advice as far as probably a new player. But if patch 14 doesn't come out for another 6 months, can you honestly tell me that you're going to tell somebody, wait till patch 14, but I can't tell you when patch 14 is coming?
But they would be saying that if they didn't think patch 14, they weren't being insinuated by everything else going on that patch 14 is around the corner. You wouldn't be saying it. I am
100% one of the people that I've told several people in YouTube comments now that have asked about if they should buy Fault. I'm like, you should probably just wait until patch 14. I've said that a million times because
under the assumption, probably.
I thought that patch 14 would be coming out fairly soon. B, right. I don't want them to play now, get into a match and get shit on by Smurfs. Yep. They need to wait until there's a bigger player base to play. Because if you introduce somebody into the game now, they're not going to come back. This is something I've experienced, especially lately when we've been doing this ethereal testing. A lot of the testers that we play with, they tried Fault like week 1 and then just fucking walked away and haven't come back. Beard and I, maybe we've brought him back, but who knows? But that's the case with so many people. Fault let them down at the beginning and then they didn't come back. I don't want somebody to pay $20 or whatever it is for the game right now and then just get shit on by Smurfs because the player base is tiny and then just fucking say fuck it and leave. I would rather that they wait until patch 14 drops. So I think it's valid advice. And
Goose's advice would have changed if there wasn't the insinuation of 14 around the corner, right?
No, it wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't encourage anybody to play Fault right now.
Right, but you wouldn't have told them to wait till 14 though. You wouldn't have told them to wait for 14 at least.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't have given that.
If 14 wasn't brought up, you would have just been stuck on the progress of 13 and what's more to come, is what he's saying.
But say I've also told people to wait for 14 because again I thought 14 is around the corner. All right, but if they asked me, hey, what about this game? I would have gave them, hey, this is 13. This is what it's like. And I don't tell anybody to get the game, right? I tell them my honest opinion, where we're at and what's going on. And then the future of how the game's looking. Like we got this coming, this coming, right? I'm enjoying the game. This is improved. That's improved. If you want to get it, go ahead and try it out. That's what I tell them, right? But when 14's insinuated on the corner and AI is right there, wait for 14 because I don't want you to play, get your ass kicked and say, now I sold them a shitty product.
So I would say this is probably a direct correlation of miscommunication and probably misrepresentation of the product or when the product will arrive, right? Because at the end of the day, there's partners, not just people, partners saying wait for patch 14. And we got to be mindful if patch 14 isn't anytime soon, at the end of the day, the reason partners are saying wait for patch 14 is because they were kept out of the loop when patch 14 is coming. You get me? Because again, if patch 14 is weeks from now,
what you're talking about.
Yeah, like if patch 14 is a week away or if patch 14 is 3 months away, how long of a time frame? Let's say if I told you this in September, if I told you it's going to be 2 fucking months and you might not get patch 14, I'll be honest, I'm not going to say wait for patch 14 at that rate.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't have.
And that comes down to direct miscommunication between the company, the partners, and the community. Because again, if you do not set the expectation is set for you. It's literally like Strange Matters as a company, and some might disagree, but Strange Matters as a company cannot afford to keep hiding behind the shroud of mystery and just kind of winging it and not giving time frames or whatever. You get me? Like, at the end of the day, if patch 14 came out within even 30 days of patch 14 being mentioned, by today's gaming standards, that took a while. Like, why the fuck have they been talking about it all month? That shit hasn't come out yet.
It's usually 2 weeks. It seems to be the standard in gaming right now.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand this is their first company. I understand that we're running marketing.
A week to test and and then it drops.
Well, no. Honestly, quite frankly, again, like you guys have been saying, more towards what you guys have been saying of the whole, don't talk about it until it's ready. Quite frankly, let's assume you've been testing patch 14 for over a month and you're set on it. Now we're going to start talking about it and we release it 2 weeks from now. It's called planned execution.
Yeah.
It literally is that simple. And here's the thing.
What you're talking about. That's what I said. But yeah, you're good.
No, you're good. Like, and here's the thing. Can we as partners even guarantee the community that patch 14 is coming before 2021? I mean, before 2022?
No.
At this point, no. Had you asked me this question about a month and a half ago, I would have said guaranteed.
Yeah.
And perception changes as time flies. You guys are 100% accurate.
Fries?
Did I say fries? My bad. I must be hungry.
Maybe I'm hungry.
Yeah, I must be hungry.
My time is frying right now. I'll be right back. I got to shut the air fryer.
I'm a little fried. I hit a bowl full of medicine during that piss break earlier.
Spicy. But yeah, like, perception is everything. And the longer they here's the thing. I don't even want to use the word delay because they keep saying up and down. The patch is not delayed, right? But the longer they wait, the more it seems like it's delayed. The longer it seems like it's delayed, the more that lack of trust in the ability of Strange Matters is going to happen. And that doesn't mean that there should be that lack of trust in there. Like, this company is very able, they have the talent, like we mentioned earlier, to provide amazing assets, amazing quality, and etc. Might it take them some time? Sure. Just let us know at least down the progression. That's one of the reasons why Trello maps are so popular. Like, you feel me? You don't even necessarily have to give me a date, but let me know, hey, these are the things being worked on. Right. Like, if they literally came out and said, hey guys, patch 14 testing started this day. All right. New map testing started this day. You get me? New items are being tested as of now. That would just be cool shit.
I don't think they could do that.
But they easily could.
It started. No, they definitely 100% easily could. 100% easily could. But
and what would be the harm?
The harm is that anybody goes looks at Trello, you've been doing that map for however long. Like, you're just gonna it gives ammunition for somebody to flame you, even though they don't know anything about making a map. They don't know anything about it. They're just gonna flame you because they're gonna look at that number and it doesn't satisfy them with the time frame that they haven't got anything. Especially when right now we've been how long since a no character, right? No hero been released. So I want you to be able to see that we've been working on characters for 11 months now. That's what you want me to see? That's
but
not.
You got to be mindful that the ammunition is still there. They hired a map designer about 8 to 9 months ago. They hired a map designer 8 to 9 months ago. Where is the map?
Find it. No, you're not. But you're literally handing them the loaded gun. You don't have to hand them the loaded gun. You make them work for it, right? That's the problem, right? Now I agree with you at first. But I don't agree with putting the timestamps on there when things start. I agree with putting a Trello on there, letting us know what you made, what you've done so far, because those people who are asking, in Mangoose's videos, in our streams, wherever we're talking, in your videos, those people are asking, then it's a great reference. Here's the Trello. Here's what they've done. Here's what's working. Here's the future, right? You don't need timestamps on that stuff. You just this is what they're working on. There's no date when this is, hey, this is when we want this done. Don't put any of that on there. Just let me know what you plan. Like, I want to know, what is your plan for tower damage in the future? Maybe that's something I'm working on. I'm just pulling something out of my ass.
Yeah, I get
That's
you.
Nothing.
So let me kind of argue. They don't have to give a date to let us know that they're working on tower health, or tower damage.
Right. I'm not. But you're asking for a timestamp. This is when we started working on tower health. You know.
Well, I'm saying if they post and let the community know we're working on tower health. Okay, cool. If they add a little list of things that are being worked on. You get me?
No.
There might be a list of a million things, but if they add anything on there.
No, I don't want a current thing. I literally don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want, this is what we've done and this is future. Not what we're currently working on, nothing. I want future. So then later on, we're just going to throw this over to hey, that's been done. That's been done. That's been done. This is all future. There's no time frame. There's nothing. You don't know out of this list. You don't know what we're actively working on right now. But this is the future. That's all I want.
So you would rather get notifications that something got moved the future list to the already done list?
That's going to be in a patch. It's going to be in when the patch when you give me patch notes, I'm like, oh yes, that's what that was on. If you're being actively with it, right? But again, the Trello is going to be something again, like for Mangoose's videos, my stream, your videos, your stream. You hear, oh, this is what? Pull the Trello. Let me hit a button for you. Bam, Trello pops up on chat. Click the link. That's where we're currently at, right? And then that person starts actively following. Fine, then they know where the Trello is at. They know how to actively follow. But they also have the patch notes that's going to tell them the update. This is what's been fixed. And then when that patch gets posted, bam, all that stuff that was in that patch gets moved over to this side. We don't need time because you put anything on there, what's currently being worked on, because even then you don't put a timestamp, but you say this is currently worked on, and then 3 patches go by and this thing's still currently being worked on. Well, wait, but this thing hasn't moved. Are you guys actually working on that or what's going on?
You know what? I'm actually curious. Let me go down the list here and I'm going to go Stunt, Mangoose, and then Bearded. How far along patch 14 do you think they are? Stunt. Based off of what you've seen, how far along do you think they are?
I think they're just tweaking probably bugs here and there. That's what I think. I think it's fairly ready. I mean,
like polishing?
They're polishing because, to be honest with you, it'd be extremely disappointing in the future to find out that all this announcement, all this splitting the community with their opinions, with all of the hyping, and they didn't even have 75% of the finish. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, at a best case scenario, I think they're at a 99% percentile. Just I'm hoping, thinking of a proper date to release it. I'm hoping a best case scenario based off of what I'm seeing.
Okay. And Mangoose?
Oh, I'm really hoping Stunt is correct. I that's what I feel is correct. That it's just polish at this point. If they announced patch 14 and then started working on 14, that would be terrible. That would be just horrible. But I don't think that's the case. I think the patch was pretty much ready. I think they're just ironing out some bugs and stuff they've been finding and testing. I sincerely hope so.
So you think this has been just roughly about like a month or so of just ironing the kinks, just between the two of you?
God, I hope so. Yes.
Okay, and Bearded?
I think it is the untechnical version of a delay because there was no time. So there's a delay. They expected this to be out sooner than now. Like they wanted this to be out, I would say like a month ago almost is what they wanted. Just the way it felt insinuated upon the community. That's what I would say is what it was. I'm saying I hope it's very soon because I really at this point I think I'm going to avoid Gen Chat because I'm done being hyped. I'll just avoid Gen Chat and wait for patch notes. When patch notes drops, we'll get back to the normal Bearded Wolverine good morning messages because I'm tired of going there and reading hype messages all the time.
And I'll be real with you. As far as my 2 cents, I don't know what to think. And that's the part that worries me the most. I have zero fucking idea if patch 14 is ready and it's being just ironed out, or if patch 14 is still being actively worked on, or if patch 14 is still, like trying to get into conception. I have no idea what the development stages are. I have no idea what the official progress is. All I know is I don't know. I wish I could tell everybody listening through other podcasts, everybody watching either live or on YouTube. I wish I could tell you guys more. I'm sitting here telling you as a partner, I cannot. I have no idea. I'm in here for the ride. You feel me? And that kind of sucks balls, bro. Like, that fucking sucks to sit here and be like, hey, we have no clue. We have zero idea as far as how deep into the process we are. How much longer is it going to take? Is it going to be a few days? Is it going to be months? I don't know. It just sucks.
You know what else is scary, Windu? Who am I to make an opinion when somebody as passionate as Bearded for this game is starting to get annoyed? You know what I mean? That's a scary feeling. For someone who's as passionate about this game as Bearded is, right? And for him to start getting annoyed in the situation it's a scary thought of its own. You know what I mean?
I'm for damn sure not used to it. I'm not used to Mr. White Knight over there being salty towards stranger than it. Respectively. Yeah, like respectively. But like I'm not used to it. Yeah, that's something that we're 100% not used to.
And I think that should be a sign. It literally should be a sign. Like, people in Gen Chat know me as the guy, as the White Knight, you know, as sticking up for everything that's being done, no matter what. Like, no, don't give him, give him this, give him that, give him this. And if I'm getting to this point, that should say something, right? You can't tell me that, 13 was worse, or whatever. Like, I don't care if 13 was worse. That just tells me you're not learning. You're literally progressing the same way. There's no changes being made. That's the problem.
Again, I think as far as feedback for all, I just think it's important to keep the perspective, and it's important to just be mindful of what everyone says. Even the tiniest phrase, even a word missing. Because that shit, what's the word I'm looking for? Reverberate? That shit could literally just continue, cycle on, pass on through word of mouth, and be like, yo, they were saying this patch is hype. That shit must be like anytime this week, right? We've been saying it must be anytime this week for already over a month. Almost 2 at this point. You follow?
Yeah.
So here's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and call it. We're going to end on more of a down note. So we apologize for everybody listening and everything. Yeah, we're just waiting. We're waiting very patiently, very impatiently. Go ahead.
First time chat from a viewer. We got Sprites TTV. He's a partner who has been a White Knight. So let me read it first real quick because it could be.
Yeah, you can read it. You can read it. It's fine.
Right. I just want to make sure it wasn't anything
You're
was like straight up being a troll. All right. So he's a partner who has been White Knight. So to say the game for a long time, when a partner has zero clue on where you're at with the biggest update, that's a problem. SMS is absolutely horrible with their communication. People are leaving the game in droves. I don't know the definition of droves, but I think it means a lot.
I'm under the assumption. I'll be honest. I don't know what a drove is.
Yeah, Jesus, am I the only one that speaks English on this fucking partner panel?
Hey man,
I speak English.
Hold on.
I just fluently.
First of all, I learned my English in a book. So
West Virginia boy over here.
Oh man. But now, so let's do this. Let's wrap up. We're getting about that time frame of the 2 hours. As customs, we're going to go down the list. We're going to give a piece of advice, a little note from us to the community individually. If you guys want to go ahead and throw your plugs in there, feel free to do so. Being mindful, again, people watching live, people watching on YouTube, and people listening over the podcast form, because all our partner panels are now available on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcast. Let's start with Stunt. Let's go Mangoose, Bearded, and we'll wrap up from there.
First off, I want to thank you guys, Matt. I want to shout out to you guys for always having me on here. It's always a pleasure, Windu. And as far as the community, all these opinions that you hear from us, take it, learn from it, analyze it, and make a decision of your own. At the end of the day, it all comes down to your own decisions. You know what I mean? We might say things here because we think we've heard it from a source that's reliable or not, or we might have our own opinions. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to you guys. Those of you who are sticking around, just hang in a little bit. Just hang on a little bit longer. I'm sure Fault will do great. So that's about it, brother.
Appreciate you, homie. And Mangoose?
I just want to say Fault is funded by the players. All the players have a stake in Fault. It's not just SMS's responsibility to improve this game and make sure everybody has fun. We all have a responsibility to that. If you're in a game with somebody that's like you obviously outclass, maybe let him get away once. You know what I mean? I was playing Decker today. I was obviously against a Twin Blast it was like his first game, had to have been. And like I could have taken him out with a stun. I just let him go. Just let people go sometimes. You know, just you don't have to sweat constantly. You don't have to be number one. You don't have to pad your KDA. It's not a big deal. It's an early access game. Nothing you do right now fucking matters. Stop. Just stop. Just chill out and have fun with the game. Don't just dominate other people. I've been on the other end of it. I've been dominated by much better players. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make you feel like playing the game. You might look at it and say, well, you should just learn from that. Sometimes you're getting destroyed so hard that you're learning nothing except that you don't like this game and you don't want to play it anymore. It breaks you. So like just ease up on some of the newer players as they come in so we can try and keep some of the people that are interested in Fault. Let's keep them playing until they can get to a point where they can compete. That's my 2 cents for the night.
True. And those are good points. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to ruin somebody else's experience because your only definition of fun is to shit on people.
Right.
You feel me?
And if you are new and you're trying to learn the game, let's say your NA side, you can't find a match because it's only live on EU. You can always go find It's Mike TV and It's Empty live streaming the game and learn from them. All right. So give them a chat, follow on Twitch. You'll enjoy it. They're great players. Mike's also a partner as well with us. Andy also just hit us with a raid earlier. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much. But no, like this is normally where I'm like, hey guys, stick with us. We're right there. This is my normal rant. Like I'm excited. We're ready to go. But I'm not comfortable saying that right now. So thanks for hanging out with the Partner Panel Live. Let us know how you guys feel when you're watching on YouTube and comments below. And I believe even on the podcast, you're able to rate and comment and stuff like that. So leave comments there as well when you're watching it. If you're listening to this on podcast form as well, all the support is greatly appreciated. We greatly appreciate every single one of you. If you got anything for us that you think we can improve upon, let us know because, we're just here doing this. We love doing this. And if there's something we can do better, let us know. And we'd love to improve upon that. Thank you so much for stopping by.
True. Good words. And from my side, I almost said I'll be real again. God damn it. And from my side, I know I usually try to keep it real, but with like ultra realism, I wish I knew more guys. I'm sorry that I don't. We'll try our hardest to get more information out there. We were able to find some cool details like this map preview. And if you guys are listening in podcast form, and you're not able to actually see this, whether it's live or on YouTube, the video will be on YouTube as well. So you guys are more than welcome to see that after the fact. Boy, I just wish I could tell you guys more concrete information. That's literally where I'm stuck at. But thank you everybody for watching. Thank you guys for engaging in the live chats. Everybody that's stuck around this fucking long throughout a podcast or video, we appreciate you. Leave a GG in the comments. But we're going to end it here, guys. You guys much have fun, have good games, and we'll see what we get in the next week as far as information.